Hello, ladies and gentlemen, Matt the Editor here, and yes, it's that time again. Doctor Who is back on our screens, which means the Who reviews are back. I apologize, I haven't done this pretty early. I've been busy the last couple of days, which meant I've been very tired, that I have not had any time to do anything like this, especially since Doctor Who just came out. So yes, without further ado, let's talk about the first episode of Series 11, The Woman Who Fell to Earth. Now, like all Doctor Who fans, I've been so excited for this episode. I've even been very excited for this series so far, ever since Jodie was announced, and even from the trailers I saw for, yeah, it looks pretty good, but the recent one, it really got me excited. I was really looking forward to this episode, which was a real shame because it turns out the time that they were going to release it was during the time I was in the rehearsal, because I have rehearsals on Sunday afternoons. So I was very disappointed that I had to watch this episode on delay. But I managed to watch it anyway, and I've seen other people's reactions that they like this episode. They say it's a fresh new era for Doctor Who. The story was pretty good. Chris Chibnall has done a good job. What do I think of this episode? Honestly, why do I feel like I've watched a completely different episode from what everyone else has watched? Honestly, I found parts of it kind of dull. Okay. Let me get this straight first. It's not terrible. Far from it, and I know this is normal for most pilot episodes for a new series, that the least interesting episode is the first episode, but I've seen the 11th Hour, I've seen Partners in Crime, I've seen Deep Breath, I've seen Rose, I've seen Smith and Jones, all very good intros, very good introduction episodes, and this one, it sort of lacked something, and let's get this over. Let's get this good stuff out of the way, because honestly, the episode looks great. Jamie Childs, the director of this episode, has done a pretty good job, and I think having the episode in widescreen really works in its favor, and the episode, particularly in the cinematography, is such high quality production work put into it, and I really wished I watched this in the cinema. That would have made the whole experience even better. It really does look very good. And of course, I have to talk about Jodie Whittaker. What do I think of Jodie Whittaker? She is so good. Jodie, you are the babe. Honestly, I have been really excited to see Jodie Whittaker's performance as the Doctor. I mean, ever since they announced it, and then seeing her interviews, seeing her in real life, and seeing clips of her in the Doctor, I thought, I think I'm going to really like this Doctor. And from this episode, how would you introduce Jodie's Doctor? By smashing through a train. That is Doctor Who. And one of the things I like about Jodie's Doctor is that she has the pace of Tennant, the human qualities of Davidson, and the quirkiness of Matt Smith. And normally, I think having the same qualities from other Doctors would kind of be a little bit generic. I mean, especially for the first episodes, because I think that was one of the main issues I had with Capaldi in his first episode, Deep Breath. But in this episode, however, it kind of works, and honestly, Jodie actually works with it. I mean, it's a nice blend of all the classics as well as the classics and the new Doctors merged together. It's a good mix. The standout sequence, in my opinion, is when she is making her new sonic screwdriver, which by the way, I actually quite liked. That she actually acknowledges that it's not just a screwdriver. She actually says that it opens doors, it's a lock picker, it turns on energy, and It's a Swiss Army screwdriver. Screwdriver. I like that. I actually thought that was kind of funny. I was a little disappointed that it wasn't actually made from alien tech, but just from some random junk. But honestly, it kind of works in favor with the Doctor. It sort of makes sense because it's handmade from whatever she can find in the area, which I think is one of her qualities. Yeah, she does have her speeches, like the speech on the crane, when she says, "I'm a doctor," and she talks about regeneration. Shut up, phone. But I think the speech I actually quite liked is when she talks about her family, which, by the way, is a nice throwback to Troughton in Tomb of the Cybermen, where they stay in her mind. Honestly, when she came out of that wonderful outfit from the curtains, which by the way, what is a bookshelf next to a changing room doing in a clothes shop? But I recently found out it was a charity shop, so okay, I know where I'm wrong. But the funny thing is, when she emerged from the curtains, which by the way, that is a great pose. I mean, I really do like it. But for a moment there, I thought she had shrunk. But I didn't want to be too picky. One of the other things I liked about Jodie Whittaker as the Doctor is that every single shot we have of her, she shines in every single angle, in every single shot she is in. I would like to see more of her own character of the Doctor rather than just a rehash of like David Tennant or Matt Smith or Christopher Eccleston or any of the other classic Doctors. I would like to see something new that is her own version of the Doctor throughout the series. But so far from what I saw in this episode, I'm hooked. I really can't wait to see her in action. Jodie Whittaker, thumbs up. Let's talk about the companions. We've got Graham O'Brien, Ryan Sinclair, and Tamsin Khan. Standout, in my opinion, is, of course, Bradley Walsh. I mean, what can I say? He is so good in this episode. I liked seeing him with Grace, played by Sharon D. Clarke. I liked seeing him trying to be a good granddad to Ryan, and I actually quite like that once he has joined with the Doctor and they're meant to go out and spread the word and sort of ask if whether there's been anything going on, and he goes to ask his busmates, and obviously at first that they haven't seen anything, but then like half an hour later he actually gets a call from them saying that they've actually seen something. That is both genius and funny. And of course, I have to talk about his speech. I can't talk much about his speech, but honestly, I just saw him at the funeral and the scene we had afterwards, and I saw a character. I literally saw what this person was, and honestly, there's one thing I'm very, very curious about seeing in this series develop, and that is to see his relationship with Ryan develop over this series after the events of what happened. Which then leads me to Ryan and Tamsin Khan. Boring, generic characters. Okay, I'm sounding a bit harsh. Let's talk about Tamsin first. First scene we get of her when she's the policeman actually working on her job, and the scene we get with her talking to the two women about the damage to the car, and just seeing her talk, trying to calm them down. I thought, that's a proper person, that's a proper policeman, I'm interested. But then literally the next scene we see of her is her sitting in the car and just talking to herself. I want to do more. I want to go out there and see what what I'm made of. I'm just like, oh, are we really doing this? Honestly, I think she was the weakest out of the companions, in my opinion. My opinion might change as the series will continue, and Ryan is pretty much the same, except maybe a little bit better than Tamsin. Was it Tamsin or Yasmin? Sorry, it's Yasmin. Sorry, it's Yasmin. Sorry. With Ryan, honestly, I thought he was okay, a bit bland, but okay. I mean, I know that they said that he has dyspraxia, which, from what I gather, is a problem with coordination. I don't think I see that in this character. Honestly, I just see a random guy. I don't see someone with that sort of symptom, and there are some parts of the episode which I sort of think he could have done, but I'll get to that later. But honestly, there's one thing I actually quite liked about his character, and I actually quite like that he did a vlog about the woman he met, and it's actually his nan. That I thought that was actually quite sweet. And what's the first thing he did after he said the vlog? He gets on his bike and he tries riding it, which by the way, I'm glad they didn't show that he actually got, he actually managed to ride the bike, because I think that would have been a bit too simple. But and again with Graham, I'm actually really interested to see how his relationship with Graham develops over the series, especially after the loss of their gran. Sorry, spoilers. But my main issue with that is he's not 19. There is no way this character is 19. He looks like someone who is in his 20s. If he was in his 20s, that's understandable. But there is no way he is 19. I'm just saying. Sharon D. Clarke as Grace, I think, was a very interesting character from the start. I mean, I saw elements of my own mother or my own nan or relative in her, and I can see she has a very good relationship with Ryan and Graham. I especially like how, when she has met this strange woman crashing through a train, and she just decides to help her anyway because it is right. But then I felt a little disappointed because I knew what was going to happen. Honestly, I knew she was going to die, which is why I'm sorry to say this, but her death left no impact on me whatsoever. I'm sorry, because I knew she was going to die, and when it did, I felt nothing. One of the main reasons is it's too soon. I think if her death worked throughout the series, I think it would have worked a little better. But again, I like what it has done with Graham and Ryan's relationship, which could develop in the series. But honestly, in my opinion, there's this one character I really like in this episode, and that's Carl the Crane Man. Okay, now obviously when we first meet Carl on the train, I said to myself, plot device. And what a surprise, he was a plot device. But then we get the scene with him sitting in the crane, and he has this sort of tape telling him that you are confident, you are important. I'm just like, I really like that. I mean, especially when he uses that to go across the crane. He's saying to himself, I am confident, I am important. I really like that. But at the same time, I was thinking to myself, that should have been the companion. Why wasn't he the companion? Or better yet, why wasn't someone like Ryan saying that line? I mean, especially since he's meant to be having trouble with coordination. Which, by the way, why didn't Ryan have taken control of the crane? I mean, no offense to Yasmin, but if you're gonna have someone who has problem with coordination, wouldn't you want something like that to stand in the way? Sort of conflict or something like that. Again, it was alright. I mean, the characters are fine. I'm pretty sure they'll develop more in time. Okay, now let's talk about the monster, Tim Short. Cool design of the suit, by the way. I especially like the scene where he goes into the street and then there's this guy with a kebab and he just starts chucking pieces of his kebab at them. That was quite funny, even though I think if this episode was released in September, that Halloween line is next month would have really worked. And then when we get to see his face, I call it a slight glimpse of Eldrad from the Hand of Fear, and very disturbing design, by the way. And this is weird coming from a creature who's actually got a face covered in teeth. Yeah, there were some parts where I sort of thought he's a pretty dull, boring villain. However, I do like that he is actually a cheater of his race. I mean, of all the things we've seen like alien smugglers, we've seen alien Democrats, we've seen alien, like the stuff with the Slovene. But it never occurred to me that we haven't seen an alien cheater. I don't think it's something we've seen before. And the way he saw kills the people on the face, and then he just breaks their mouths to take the teeth. Even though you don't see it, it still looks and feels awful. So yeah, the episode looks pretty good, and the acting is decent. What don't I like about it? Well, the episode, I think, in my opinion, felt a little dull, lazy, or half done. I mean, For example, there are a couple of scenes which they talk about, but they never talk about later, or it could have been done or talked more. The story, in my opinion, was weak, very generic or basic, which is understandable, but from Chibnall, not the best of his writing, but it was not expressed or executed badly. That I'm pretty sure there were some things given to time that was completely forgotten in the next scene. For example, the guy who takes the pod asks the creature, where is his sister? And then we get a scene later on where the team watch a video of his talk about people disappearing. And I didn't get it. And I don't think it was relevant to the whole plot. I could be wrong. And I don't know if it's probably going to be explored in the series. But it might be, I don't know. But I'm pretty sure you could have taken the stuff with the guy who takes the pod about his stuff with his sister. And I don't think you would have missed anything. There are a couple of scenes where about with the same sort of subject, which they talk about, but they never talk about later on. A perfect example, in my opinion, is this funeral scene where Ryan talks to the Doctor about his father. Where did that come from? I'm pretty sure they didn't mention it before. I mean, yeah, I get it. You want to set something up, but at the same time, I'm thinking to myself, do we really need that bit? I mean, honestly, maybe you could have had that scene in a later episode, and I think it would have worked. But that being said, it looks like the series arc is actually going to be the search for the TARDIS, which honestly, I don't think we've seen that before. One of the few disappointments I have with this episode is that it doesn't feel anything new. I didn't feel anything new. It looks new, but it didn't feel new. I wanted to feel something new has been brought into this episode, and honestly, I didn't feel anything new. It just felt like any other episode or any other story or any other show that we had seen before. It didn't feel new yet. I am so glad that they've got the theme tune back to play over the next time trailers, and honestly, I like the sound of the theme tune. It's almost like they took the sound file from the classic seasons, like the 4th Doctor and the 8th Doctor's theme from Big Finish, and they give it a new vibe by combining it with the drum beat from the Matt Smith era, and I like it. And then we get the Coming Soon trailer, which is actually a long list of the supporting cast we're going to get in the series. Okay, but honestly, I really like the look of this cast we've got. We've got like Mark Addy, Suzanne Parker, Sean Dooley, Siobhan Finnegan, and Lee Mack. But man, Alan Cumming, who by the way looks fantastic as King James. I cannot wait to see that episode. And again, I really cannot wait to see what this series is about to bring us. So yeah, those are my thoughts and what I thought of this episode. I apologize if it's a little over the place. I apologize. These are pretty much my first reactions to the episode. I'm pretty sure I'm gonna watch it again. Maybe my opinion might change. So yeah, my overall view is that if I could sum up this episode in a sentence, it would be not great, but it could have been great. I don't want to go into full detail again because this is a nice community, and I don't want to cause any riots or controversial arguments across the community. If you've enjoyed this episode, if you like it, that's fine. This is just my own opinion, and really am looking forward to what's next to come. So there you go. Jodie, Chibnall, Bradley Walsh, cast, production team, good luck. Comment, like, and share this video, and if you have seen the episode, what did you think about it? And if you'd like to see more of my videos, don't forget to subscribe. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.